Welcome back to Life FM. You are tuning in with Sandra and Megan right here on Impulses. And if you're listening in the Kosh area, you're of course listening on 100.6 FM. Otherwise, in the Potchefstroom area, you're on 98.1 FM. Alternatively, you can listen on the World Wide Web on www.lifefm.co.za or just download the app and you can listen to us anytime, anywhere. Today we actually have a wonderful topic here that we have been speaking about quite frequently on our Practical Faith Ministries YouTube page. And if you want to go check that out, we'll give you all the information in the first section or maybe a bit later. But all of this that we've been working on especially the past month has a lot to do with this very, very topic. But before I jump too far ahead, I'm going to go ahead and introduce my co-host, beautiful Sandru. How are you doing?
I am doing fine, Megan. I am just so excited this morning, and you know what? It's a topic. It's actually close to our hearts. It's actually what we've been going through lately, especially what I've been going through. It's the end of an era, end of a season, and that's what we're going to be talking about. And you know, I'm going to be testifying quite a lot today about it, what I've been going through, and I hope this helps you as well, because you know what? We all go through this. We all have our seasons. Megan, what do you think about seasons?
You know what? It's like the best book in the whole world says, there's a season for everything. There's a season for every season. And you know what? It's such a beautiful thing to think about. And I'm sure that there's a lot of people listening today that are either starting a new season or ending an old season, or stuck in a season that you wish would want to end. And you know what? I really hope that today's show comes and it comes enthuses you. But before we get into that, I hope that you enjoy the next song, and I really look forward to getting into all of this with you. Go sit, go meditate, get back to God, start praising Him. Let's get to it. What a beautiful worship song. And we are now back here on Impulses with a topic called seasons. But before we get into that, I know that you know that there is someone in your life that you know needs to hear this message today. And I have actually very good news for you. If they are busy, maybe they've got meetings at work, because it is 10 o'clock, it is a Tuesday morning, it's such a great, wonderful day. We do want to remind you that we've got our own YouTube page called Practical Faith Ministries. That is on YouTube, it's on TikTok, it's on Facebook. We've even got a WhatsApp broadcasting news channel. And right on there, you will find all of the daily content that we have. But every single Saturday, right after this program has aired, we will be airing the exact program this Saturday, so that you can send it to the person that you know is going through something. You know they are either starting or ending or between seasons. But before we get too far into that, Sandru?
All mine. Yeah, you're going to be listening a lot to me. Not last week, I realized that I just had to chip in now and then, just so you guys can know that I'm still in studio, and I'm busy also with the show, because Megan just took over, which is lovely. And, you know, it's always nice. But for someone who likes to talk, sometimes it's pain. You want to jump in and she just holds you back. It's like, no, I'm talking. But today I get to testify. Seasons. First of all, you know what? The book that she was referring to in the intro is Ecclesiastes. That's her favorite book. She loves it. I find it quite a weird book to like. Out of all the Bible books, I've got my personal favorite. She loves Ecclesiastes. And Ecclesiastes 3, verse 1 says, there is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens. Then it goes on: a time to be born, a time to live, a time to die, a time to kill, a time to heal. You know, there's a time for everything. And it's difficult, because a lot of times we don't want to accept the seasons. Either being in a season, at times we want to get out of certain seasons that we need to be in. A lot of times we're too scared to start a new season, or sometimes a season gets shut on you. But how do we cope with it? Now I'm going to give you my testimony, but before we get there, I just want to ask Megan one question, so she can also talk, you know, also make her voice heard, because I'm going to hear it later on after we finish the show. You didn't let me talk, so here we go. Megan, seasons. Why is seasons so important, having different seasons in your life?
So there's actually, you know what, when you take it into word concept, the Lord allows for various seasons in our lives. And yes, you guessed it. It's all to glorify Him. All of the seasons that we experience in our lives. Sanjay mentioned a bunch of seasons, the way they start, the way they end. And then there was another one that I wanted to mention. Wanting a season to end, but really wanting a season to start. And, the Lord promises, or the word has a lot of promises within it that the Lord promises to each and every single one of you, as me and you. And specifically when it comes to these seasons, at the very end of it, we need to remind ourselves that all of our seasons are meant to glorify God. Especially, and I think back to the season before I got saved. And now I testify about that. And I testify about the season where I got saved, my salvation season. And now I'm in a season where I'm growing within the Lord and I'm growing within His presence. And spiritually, especially for me, there's a lot of seasons. But there's a lot of seasons where we find ourselves in and we pray, Lord, let this season end. Lord, just can we pass through? And you know what? You don't have to be just in one season at a time. You can be in various seasons all at once. There's various things like when it comes to careers, relationships, etc. I actually heard an interesting thing, surprisingly, on Facebook the other day. And it was about whenever you exit a relationship, the Lord would never refer to you as a person, as a lesson for someone else, but rather a season. Because the Lord allows for people in and out of our lives for seasons. They are meant for seasons. But anyway, before I hog the show, let me give it back to Sandra.
I finally get the mic back. Can you believe it? Miles Monroe once said, I'm going to testify in the second segment. And because I'm going to take up most of the segment there. And please listen to the testimony because I know it's going to bless you. I know it's going to help you. Or you can send it to someone who can help them that are maybe who's going through the same thing that I'm going through. Because this is happening as we're busy speaking. This morning is the end of an era for me, but we'll get to that afterwards. But I want to get to you what I heard once, what Miles Monroe said, the famous Miles Monroe, spirit-filled man, brilliant sermons. I encourage you to go listen to his stuff. You know what? Go listen to him and you're just going to be so blessed. But he was busy speaking of a building. View yourself as a building, okay? You're busy getting built, brick by brick, up. Now, as you know, the higher you go, there has to be scaffolding as well. In order for the laborers to be able to lay the bricks, once it goes past a certain height, you need scaffolding. And then you have to start putting in doors, you have to start putting in the windows, and everything that comes with the building. Now, the one thing about that building, if it is you, we must understand that some people will be doors in your life. Some people will be windows. Other people will be other parts of your permanent building, meaning they will forever be in your lives. I'm thinking probably in most cases your mother, your father, your brothers, your sisters, uncles, aunties, certain friends, definitely your partner, your wife, your husband. They will be, from when they enter, they will be there till the time that you go back to the Lord. They will be a permanent part in different forms. That's why some will be a door. They will have a bigger function in your life than what a window does. A door plays a bigger function in a building and in what a window does. But a window has, also its own important place. And they add to the building. They're always supposed to add value. Then you got someone being the electricity, helping you, guiding you, shining light in you, stuff like that. But then you also get the people on the outside. The scaffolding. And the scaffolding is the people that come into your life for a certain time frame. It can be 2 minutes, it can be 10 minutes, it can be a month, it can be a year, it can be 5 years, it can be 10 years, could even be 15 years. But when their time is up, they go. Like school friendships. Like a lot of times at school, I'm thinking I'm going to be friends with these guys, forever, we're going to keep in touch. I speak to a few. I speak to like 2-3 of my school friends. And remember, this is over 20 years back. So, but most of them you see on Facebook, hello, what's up, but there's no friendship. But they were there for a season. And this is where it becomes important because not everyone is going to be in your life forever. Yes, they can make a massive impact. And the point is, you are going to be scaffolding in other people. You're going to be the scaffolding part. And the impact that you make must be significant, because remember, if the scaffolding is put properly and the builders do a proper job because they stand in securely on the scaffolding and they can work properly, your building will obviously be 100 times better than people wobbling and trying to just get the job done to get it done very quickly. And we got to understand that, as you see, the first thing it says in verse 2 in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, says there's a time to be born and there's a time to die. You see, it's two different seasons in our life. When we were babies, that was one season. Then we became toddlers. The terrible twos. We are on terrible twos. Please don't remind us on that. But that's a different season compared to our child 9 months ago, a year ago. Very different seasons. Trust us. We are running around like mad things because he discovered how to run. He's discovered how to run away from us. And trust me, it is work. I don't know if Megan's a super mom. But you know what? And then we become children, then we become teenagers, then we become young adults, then we become adults, then we get married. You see the different seasons, because when you're one, you cannot be in the same season you are in when you're 50 years old or 30 years old, even when you're 10 years old. They're different seasons. Primary school is a season, high school is another season, varsity is another season. Your work life, your career, maybe at one job is one season. It might last a year. Some people last 5 years, some are 20 years. Then you get retirement. You see the different seasons we have in life, and we've got to learn to embrace them. And once we embrace them, we will get the maximum out of them. But before I continue, let Megan end off this segment. Then we're going to go into a song, and then we will carry on.
Just so that my voice can be heard, I really hope that you enjoyed this segment. I am hanging on his lips. I am enjoying this so much. I hope that you are enjoying it with me. I really hope that you also enjoy the next song, and let's get back into worship. Welcome back to Life FM. You are tuning with Sanju and Megan right here on Impulses, and today we're talking about seasons. Before we carry in too deep, we are in a season now where it is winter and everyone is rather chilly this time of the year. Life FM is actually hosting a wonderful winter drive project in which, if you've got any extra blankets in your way at home, because I know this is always a thing, or old clothes, nice and warm clothes and shoes and extra canned goods, you know what? Please help us to warm the people out there. There's a lot of people in need. You know what? There will always be needy people, and there's a lot of need out there. So if you've got anything that you can contribute to this, I'm actually going to go ahead and give you Life FM's WhatsApp number. Then you can make arrangement for drop-off, or even if you want to make a financial donation, it will always be more than welcome. And I pray that the Lord bless you back 7 times in return. The WhatsApp number is 066 516 6917. That is 066 516 6917. As well, Practical Faith Ministries is also currently running a wonderful Bible Drive project, in which if you've got an extra Bible at home, or you feel the need to contribute to that as well, you can always do it yourself, where we are sending out Bibles to as many people as we can possibly reach. How this works is what we do is you either make a financial donation and we go buy the Bibles immediately, go out and go bless them, or you can just, if you've got a Bible at home, you are far from us and you also want to partake, just go to anyone that you feel like, go and give them the Bible. Please take a photo of them with a Bible and send it to Sanju on 066 238 3066. And we will go ahead and we will go share those photos on Life FM's website. You can go check. There's a little tab there specifically for the Bible Drive project. Our aim is to go and get 1 million photos on that page, and it will be such a blessed drive. Let us get back into our topic, seasons. Sanju, the mic is all yours.
Okay, now I promised that I was going to testify. Now's the time to testify. Let me give you a bit of a background. About 3 years ago, just over, about 2 years, 10 months ago, I think to be more precise, I started at the youth in Potchefstroom at RKS Meter Park, where Pastor Tom, I know you guys listen to Pastor Tom and Benny on their show. I think their show is Wednesdays at 11 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. But it's at Pastor Tom's church, and I started with the youth. He gave me an opportunity to start with the youth, but I live in Parys, and I'm like, okay, Lord, how are we going to do this? He blessed us with every Saturday. I mean, I work till 6 on a Saturday evening. So from work, I literally drive through, go to Potch. We start at 7 till 9:30, and then we come back. And then I normally get home about 10:30, 11 o'clock. And then certain Sundays is either church the next day, or I work certain Sundays as part of my contract. And, we carry on. But it was so blessed. And I'm looking back now, and I cannot believe it's about 3 years now. It is 3 years, but a month ago, or about 3 weeks ago, a month ago, God, I never really considered this before. There were times when you're thinking, okay, when am I going to stop? I am a foot. Well, I've got the mentality. Sometimes I feel like I've got the energy of a 21-year-old trapped in a 39-year-old's body. Some mornings I feel like a 50-year-old, a 70-year-old. But, there came a time where I never really thought about, leaving the group. We were actually thinking about end of the year. We were thinking about the camps that we always do end of the year. And, what's next year? There was a talk of next year because a lot of them in matric and a lot of them are going to matric next year. And they're saying, but what's going to happen after matric? And I said, no, let's take it then. And then about 3 weeks ago, the Lord just came up to me on a Monday and he said, listen, yeah, maybe it's time to stop. And I was like, what? And it was a question that popped up in my mind. It's time to stop. And then I started, okay, Lord, when? He says, no, as soon as possible. And I'm like, okay, no, Lord, let's do it end of the year, end off at the camp. And this was a few days battle. This was a few days discussions. And then the Lord said, no, you got to stop. And I offered actually to stop, end of the month. But it so happened with the holidays in that we decided we stopping on Saturday. The Saturday past, we had our last youth session. Well, I had the last youth session. They taking a break, and then when the school starts again, they are going to continue with the youth. And I pray that they flourish and they go from, height to height, and they're just so blessed. And that's going to be my prayer for them because I love them so dearly. A person doesn't realize how attached you can get to wonderful teenagers. I know they're the weirdest bunch to work with, but they're the greatest bunch to work with. And the Lord just told me it's time. And I'm heart sore. I'm not going to lie to you. As I'm busy speaking to you here this morning, my heart is still a bit sore. It's not bitterness. There's no bitterness, nothing. It's heart sore because it happened a bit fast. But I knew the season was coming to an end. And then I sent Pastor Tom, sent him a message. You can call my resignation of the youth. I sent that in. They accept. Well, they asked me why, and it was discussions, and they understand why. There's also, I need time for my family. I have to put my family first because I'm so busy with other things. I work a full-time job. We work Monday to Saturday, every second Saturday, so it's every second Sunday. So it's not like we work the Monday to Friday 9 to 5 job. We work longer hours than that. Also based in Paresta, driving up and down. We've also, myself and Megan have got another cell group in the week, a Wednesday evening. I got a men's group from 5 till 6 on Friday mornings, and it's just getting a bit much. So I'm going to start standing back a bit and realizing that the season has ended, but it was difficult. And I asked the Lord, once I did it, then the first thing I said after they accepted it and when I was going to finish, the first thing I said, Lord, am I making the right choice here? Maybe this is a bit hasty. I advise you, don't be hasty in making decisions. But I just knew this came and it just, it was all right. And there was so many confirmations that led up to it. And then afterwards, I asked the question, Lord, is this the right thing I'm doing? And lo and behold, it wasn't even half an hour later, I got 2 massive confirmations that just popped up to me. You know what? And then I started making peace. I'm sad because Saturday, there was a lot of tears. Well, there's a lot of tears for the last 3 weeks. I announced it 3 weeks before, once I found out, once I resigned. And there was a lot of tears. And Saturday was the apex of it. And it was brilliant. But now I'm thinking to myself, and like yesterday and today, I'm thinking to myself, what am I going to be doing Saturdays? I'm going to be irritating Megan and Caleb. That's what I'm going to be doing from now on in. And I hope they're ready for it. But it's a good time. And the season ended. Yes, it ended a bit sooner than what I wanted. But the one thing I know is I said, Lord, okay, now I want to rest a bit. I'm also going to start, fixing my priorities so I can spend more time with my family. So I can spend more time, doing the things I have to and putting 100% into the things I'm doing. Because sometimes we do so much that we only put 10% in everything, trying to do 100 things instead of doing 10 things and putting 100% effort in. And the season came. But just before Saturday came, over the 3 weeks, about the last week, I had peace. I made peace. I said, Lord, this is what you want. I know you got a new season for me. I don't know what it holds. I still got no idea what the new season is. All I know is I'm going to be taking a bit of a breather. I'm going to be resting. Also from the cell group and the men's group, I'm going to be taking a bit of a break. And you know what? It is something that is needed now because I know the Lord has got something now, because he wouldn't have placed something so big upon my heart if he doesn't have something planned. It's scary. Also, at the same time, very exciting because I cannot wait to see what he's going to do. And you know what? If you're in the beginning of a season, you know what? Run with it. Put everything in it, because you never know where it will lead you. I never knew the youth would lead me to where I am now. You know what? I'm looking back now. It's the end of a season. End of a season, you can always recap, enjoy. You can always, you know what? Just rest a bit as you go into the new season. And if you're in a season that you want to get out of, like I know myself and Megan also in seasons that we want to get out of, in another aspect of our lives, is we want to get out of it so badly, but the Lord is keeping us there. But now it's the thing of, okay, Lord, why are you keeping me here? What is the purpose of this? Help me to glorify your name. Help me to fulfill the purpose while I'm here. Because I know our seasons where we are in that situation of our life is not going to last very long. It's not going to last long, but it's not the end today. It won't end this week. It might be a month, it might be another year. But while we're doing that, help us to focus so we can glorify, so we can glorify you, Lord. Because the word does say, like everything we do, we must do it as if we're doing it for the Lord. And that becomes a massive verse. So keep on. Don't be scared to end the season if you know you have to end it, but make sure you pray a lot about it. Make sure you got your confirmations, and then you end it and you move on. And if you start in a new season, do it wholeheartedly with all the glory going to Him. And you're going to see the Lord is going to take you to places greater. Because when I started the season 3 years ago, I never knew it to take us to where we are, and I believe it was big success. Disciples were made out of these teenagers, which is so amazing. So guys, that is my story. I wish I had more time. Unfortunately, we're coming to the end of the show. Maybe we'll do a follow-up on this if it's necessary. But you know what? Don't be scared. Trust the Lord. In all 3 times, if you're the beginning, if you're in the middle, or at the end, trust Him. Do everything wholeheartedly, all to His glory, and you'll see how He'll shape it. Then we'll look back, and then you'll say, wow, amazing, Lord. Look what you've done just because I've allowed you. Guys, blessings. Unfortunately, it's the end of the show. We will definitely be talking to you next week, Tuesday morning again. Cannot wait. Enjoy the week.